It's 24 degrees out here, and I need to get this barn warmed up. See if we can get some projects going on today. All right, we're gonna get a fire going here. Right. Hopefully it'll warm up here fairly soon, and we can get to work on this Jacobsen over here. As you can see, I got this side done. I got that both tires tubed. I did paint the front one, the front wheel. It was that ugly Craftsman gray, and I'll do the same thing with that one. We'll get it all cleaned up, and that one there. All these tires are bad. They've got dry rot and it's leaking everywhere. It's cracked. So because I don't want to put a whole ton of money into this old tractor, I figure we'll just do this, tube them. They'll be good for a long time. So the other thing is today, see if we can get to it. There's one tube for the front, but I bought this. We got a condenser, ignition coil with a strap. I got points, and that's it. Pretty sure I'm gonna see if I got a spark plug. I might have one of those on the shelf. See, figure out what kind it is. Maybe, maybe not. And hopefully after that, we'll get spark. And we'll see if we can get it to run. That carburetor's been sitting there for a few years. It might be gummed up. It doesn't have but maybe a half-hour runtime on it. But, you know, with gasoline, the new gas with the ethanol sitting in it, at that time I wasn't running recreational gas. I was running whatever pump gas I could find, the cheapest. So we'll probably have to tear into that too and clean those jets out. And I'm not even sure how dirty this tank is. Let's see if we can see down inside of there. Let's see here. It's not the worst I've ever seen. Actually, that looks really good. We might be okay. It smells like varnish though, so probably drain it out, put new gas in. And I think it won't take a whole lot to get this thing running. Get that camera to focus. I do have a cover here, the back for the seat. I'm gonna make new cushions because this one's pretty tore up too. This is actually for my other Jacobsen that I've got over here, a project I started. I still need to finish, but there's the hood. So the brake on this thing is right here. As you can see, it has no brake material on it at all. It's just a metal band. Boy, this camera does not want to focus. So I don't know, I may repair that. I may just see if I can find one to put on, and that'll take care of that. The other side over here, it looks like this reversing gearbox may be leaking and probably doesn't have any oil in it anymore. I rebuilt the one on that other Jacobsen I just showed you, and it looked great inside. It was perfect. You can't find parts for these things anymore, and so you got to make your own gaskets and just go like that. But in any event, let's get to it. All right, let's get this wheel off of here. Get it over to the bench. All right, we're gonna get this valve stem out of here. Probably don't have to do that, but I'm going to. There we go. We'll break that bead on the tire. Mounted on here. See if we can get this off the rim. Should be fairly easy on this one. Kind of a tight spot here. There we go. Nice. Looks really good inside. Cut this valve stem off. Put it in like this. Wow. Now, let's see if I can get the stem up through here. Thread this onto it to hold it in place while I stick that tire back on the rim. And you're push this one on by hand. There it is. See if we get some air in this tube. Now let's get this tire aired up. That's about right. 15 PSI, I'm good with that. Nice. Done. All right, I want to get this rim cleaned up before I put this back on. right, we're gonna get a condenser put on here and a coil. Take this one off. There we go. Off of there. I had put some just plumber's tape around this to hold this one in. It worked, but the problem was this coil was for automotive. And automotive has quite a bit more spark than these small engines, so I'm pretty sure it burned some stuff up. Let's get that off of there and we'll put the correct bracket on this time. Looks like I'll need another bolt too. Go see if I can find one. All right, I got the new one on, but I had to notch it out. For some reason, it didn't quite fit right. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten this down. All right, we'll pull the wires off of this coil. All right, so I got a new condenser put on. Unfortunately, it wasn't long enough, so I had to extend it. And we got the new coil put on. I ended up having to notch this out a little bit, which whatever, it's fine. And just for the heck of it, I tried it to see, after I changed the coil and the condenser, to see if it would have spark, and it didn't. So I cleaned the points, the old points that were on it, and it still didn't have any spark. I ended up putting these on and adjusting it. So let's see, I don't know yet. See if it's got anything. All right. Heck yeah, I think we're good. I'm curious if it'll fire up. Let's go get some brake cleaner. Shoot some down inside of it. Here we go. A little bit in here. Let's see here. All right. See what happens. Well, it does. It's got spark, but it's not wanting to take off. Let me try this. Let's get rid of this. Plug that directly in. Spray a little bit more down in there. All right. No. Wonder if we got a bad spark plug. Let me see if I can find one. Well, I'm digging through my spark plugs, and here's the one that came out. And I've got this one here. So this is a H10C, and this one next to it is a J12YC. And they look pretty good, pretty similar. I think I'm just gonna throw that one in there. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. What you want to watch out for is the thread depth. You don't want that piston coming up and slapping it or causing any damage inside the engine. And that, to me, looks like it could be slightly shorter. So we're gonna throw that in and see what happens. All right, got the new plug in. Let's see what happens now. A little more carb or brake cleaner. See if it fires up. That is not good. Well, shoot. Oh, I had the ignition off. Great. Let's try it again. Hey, there we go. Come on, girl. That's a good sign. Boy, it spit out a lot of black stuff though. Almost. Woo! That's a dirty engine. All right, well, I think we're gonna drain the gas, take a look at that carburetor, and I'm thinking this will fire up. So I'll be back in a second. All right, so I drained the gas out of the Jacobsen. That's the gas. Nice, huh? I don't think I've ever seen gas that nasty. The tank isn't rusty inside or anything, but that fuel, and actually the camera doesn't do it justice, it is really dark brown. Yuck. So I got it filled up with fresh gas, made sure the jets are clean, everything's ready to go. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to start it. And I got a feeling that this motor has a blown head gasket, because when I was watching some of the footage I did before, smoke came back through the carburetor, and also I think it's blowing around behind the muffler. So I think I'm gonna have to get a new head gasket and check that head for flatness, but pretty sure it'll run the way it is. So I'm curious now that I've got good gas in it and spark, if it'll actually fire up and run on its own now. So why don't we give it a shot? I accidentally left the ignition on and that coil's pretty hot. That sucks, but should be okay. So let's try it. Okay. Choke it. Okay, it's getting fuel now, so take the choke off. Almost. Hang on, I'm gonna put you on a tripod. cloudy in here. But it's running. Well, I think I'm going to end this one. We'll call it part 1 of the Jacobsen. I gave this motor an oil change. That oil smelled pretty nasty. And then I decided to go ahead and drain the rear end, and you can see there was just a ton of water in it. So I'm going to let that sit there and drain all night. And by tomorrow, I think I'll go ahead and put some 80/90 in it. And the other thing, I'll probably tomorrow get that tire off and go ahead and put a tube in it. Probably start painting it. So other than that, I'm gonna have to find a brake. And there's a couple other little things that I'll go over in part 2. So we'll see you on the next one.